right, ladies and gentlemen, coming back here. Some slow jams today. A little blind melon in the morning, huh? Start your day right with a little bit of the Shannon Hoon 90s jams. That's what we're all about here on the Dota Radio Morning Show. Welcome back, folks. And we do have none other than Aaron Stern with us, Mr. Spitwad, NEO Neo Dota executive producer, NA Dota founder, and writing contributor for On Gamers. Jesus, the resume, Aaron. How are you today, sir?
I'm all right, thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here. I know you're a busy man. Always a pleasure to have like-minded Dota fans here with us on the morning show. So, talk to us about your esports resume a little bit, man. How did it all begin? How did you first get started in the whole beingness that is esports?
Well, I started by playing an awful lot of Dota, and then around when the first Dota leagues were cropping up, I competed in them and did okay, never anything special. And then I started helping out with some of the leagues and became an admin of Cal at one point, and then did some writing for Gotfrag, did some admin work for a few other leagues, and I just kind of fell into this administrative role. And then the Dota All-Stars forums went down, and soon after that, I noticed a severe hole in our community where we needed a forum or someplace to congregate, and that's where NA Dota came from.
I see. So, NA Dota, basically just a forum. What was the deciding factor of making Neo a totally different project from... And were you a founder of Neo, or are you just the current EP?
I did found Neo also.
Okay, so,
and
yeah.
Yeah. I specifically kept them separate for a few reasons. NA Dota has a reputation that I am proud of. First of all, I'm proud of it. But NA Dota has never been a business for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's first of all, it's not profitable enough to be a real business, but it's always just been a hobby for me. And a lot of people put their time and effort into NA Dota, and I have a crew over there, and so I wanted Neo to focus on broadcasting and promotion of Dota, and the goals are very different from NA Dota, and so I made it completely separate. I work with different people on it, and quite frankly, the only tie between them is me. And but that shines through a lot because I use a lot of the same connections and good people between the two.
Right. And so on that note, what is the goal of Neo? What is it about that brand that makes it so much different from NA Dota?
Well, we want to bring broadcasting to Dota 2 in a clean and respectable manner. Mm-hmm. A lot of our efforts are focused on production or trying a new way to idolize players, particularly. We put a lot of effort into trying to make them feel like superstars, mm-hmm. and which they deserve to feel like superstars. They are. I don't think the players realize how much power they have in this industry. And we started that with our Killing Spree tournament. We tried a different style of intros for that, where we highlighted each player, mm-hmm. And now we're kind of doing that with NEL and the Elite Leagues.
Yeah, so talk to us about NEL and EEL a little bit. I guess first and foremost, what was the motivation to start two separate tournaments based on that format that's a little different from traditional Dota? And on that same note, how's it going? Are you happy with the way NEL and EEL are going right now, or are there things you would like to see improved or done differently than how they are right now?
Well, everything with the Elite Leagues I do with IX Mike, so he's...
he was a guest once, a nice guy.
He's as big of a decision maker in this as me, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
But we kept the leagues separate just because there's a different culture in the leagues. NEL came out and there was a lot of flame, which we knew would happen. We've been around these NA Dota in-house leagues for a long time.
Right.
And then EEL started, and there were a few American players over there who were flaming and doing the all chat thing, and the European players weren't really into it. There's just a different culture. The servers and time zones don't match up anyways, and we just feel like they're two separate leagues, and they should be treated as such so that they can both grow on their own and go in whatever direction they need to.
Right. And with EEL, if my memory is serving me properly, IX Mike told us that you guys actually had to close the voucher system because there were so many people trying to participate in EEL. Is that still the case? Is it still closed?
I actually don't know. I do nothing with league operations at all. That's all Mike.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. Well, we definitely took that as a good sign in terms of demand and people wanting to play. If there are more people than you can process, that's, I guess, a good problem to have. So talk to us about MLG a little bit. You're a North American guy. You will be in attendance?
I will.
Yes.
Yep, fly out tomorrow.
So what do you have planned? Are you doing tournament coverage? You doing some press stuff? Or are you just going to hang out and network? What's on the docket for Spitwad at Columbus?
Well, I'll be there hanging out, shaking some hands, but I will have someone there with a video camera, and so we'll try to get some interviews in, take some photos, do whatever NA Dota asks. If you tweet something or post something on the forums, I'll try to get it for you. If you just really want an interview from, I don't know, whatever player, I'll try to get it.
Chris really wants something signed by Burning. Maybe you could make that happen.
That's an expensive signature.
Oh, ouch.
If I get that, I could flip it on eBay for 50 bucks.
It's true.
What's
It's true.
the point of giving it to you?
Damn,
See,
Burning's
that's
signature
a
is really
good
worth
thing,
that
man.
much?
You got the
Damn.
eye of a businessman.
Damn. Yeah, seriously.
I don't know. I wouldn't pay 50 for it. I don't know. Someone probably.
I'm not that keen on signatures in general. I never really understood the whole... Somebody signed this. Now it's valuable. I don't know. Every time someone asks me to sign something, I just want to say why, but I'm so flattered I just freeze and sign it and run away. Like a kid with a candy. So talk to us about your take on MLG a little bit. Are you happy with the way MLG has been approaching Dota 2? I don't know how familiar you are with MLG's history with Halo and COD and StarCraft 2 in particular. What are your thoughts about MLG as an organization moving forward and what they've been doing with Dota thus far?
Well, I got off on a pretty rocky start with them. Going into the Full Sail Fall Invitational, their first LAN a couple months ago, I sponsored Typical Mistakes to go and wanted them to go under the name NA Dota or Team NA Dota, and MLG did not allow it.
Really?
Because Dota could not be in the team name. Anyways, I don't want to go into that too much because that drama is already over, but we have since repaired our relations, and I'm very optimistic about MLG. I'm excited to go. I think it's going to be a great event. Spoke to MLG Adam quite a bit, and he seems like he's really on top of things.
Yeah, he does seem to be. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with just the way they've gone about being transparent, posting pretty much everything that we would ever want to know, kind of at least I wouldn't say as quickly as possible, but in a reasonably timely manner. And I like that they're trying to include the community aspect instead of what they did in StarCraft, where they took liberties of assuming what we would want, and in many a case, we're not quite correct. I'm glad the extended series are something of the past. That is one relic that is just burned in my memory of, oh my god, that was terrible. What are your thoughts about the bundle that they've done in terms of raising the prize pool? Obviously, it's been more than successful for this event. $50,000 to start. It's now up to $120,000 prize pool. That is ridiculous. An absurd amount of support from the community. Do you think this is a sustainable model for tournament organizers? Do you think MLG will continue to have success with this kind of bundle model? Or is the success of this more isolated to that kind of, first announcement, first big event, excitement, grand opening kind of mentality?
Well, their methodology seems to be giving us what we want, and they knew that people wanted to watch the tournament, they gave free tickets, but they knew that some people would have gladly paid for tickets to support MLG, and so they gave a way to do that. And like you said, they're really involved with the community and just asking what we want, and that's what they're giving to us. And when tournament tickets are bundled with items, they can easily sell 2 to 3 times what a ticket would without the item. So instead of bundling them together by splitting them up, I think they made a great decision because the sales have been incredible. But I think that they knew that plenty of people would go for that item bundle anyways. People like their items, and this is a pretty good value bundle. $10 for 3 items. There are a lot of items out there that are $10 alone.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I like the model. I like the idea of allowing the community to chip in and, incentivize them to help participate and help grow the prize pool. And I really just would not have thought that the prize pool would have gotten as high as it is. I mean, more than doubling is impressive to say the least. Predictions going in. Do you have any thoughts in terms of top 3? Where's the Cinderella story? Who do you think is going to take home the grand prize?
Well, it's hard not to include Alliance and Navi in the top 3. And so number 3, I'll throw up Pretty Boy Swag.
You think so? You think they have the skills to pay the bills?
You're a disgusting person.
I know. What else do you expect me to say?
You're a disgusting person.
I have to say that. I also said I thought Liquid and Dignitas would take 1 and 2 at TI3.
Well,
You're a disgusting person. It's okay though.
I think that Pretty Boy Swag could legitimately take some games off of those teams. Obviously, they're a huge underdog, but they do have quite a bit of individual skill, and I think they could pull off some big upsets.
Yeah. The few games I've casted of PBS were surprisingly intense. So I have hopes that if they don't make it to the top 3, at least they'll give us some pretty interesting games to watch. And the question that I keep falling back on that maybe isn't that interesting since 6.79, but thoughts about DK. How do you think they're going to fare? Do you think being the only Asian team is a bane or a boon?
Well, their results have been interesting so far in 6.79, so I'm not too high on them. I know a lot of people are putting them in the top 3, but I think they're kind of going to be the wild card in this tournament. I'm not really sure what to expect.
Yeah.
Overall, in being the only Asian team, I'm not sure it's really going to matter much. Everyone's still playing with the new meta game. Everyone has their pocket strats. DK has extraordinary talent on their roster. So
yeah,
I'll be excited to see what they pull out.
Same for sure. DK is to Zyori as Fnatic is to Hippie. They're the team that I want to win. If I had to say, oh, I want to see this awesome finals, that's the team I would choose. But in reality, I don't know that I'd actually play some top 3 just because of their sort of recent results. But yeah, going to be a good event. On this same sort of notion of MLG really stepping it up here in North American esports, North American Dota in particular, I saw a few people kind of asking in chat, why isn't the NA Dota scene itself sort of growing more vibrantly? As a North American individual that's very involved with Dota, what do you think we need in North America to really get things booming? How can we take what's happening in CIS and EU and bring it over to North America and really get some good competition, more than just a handful of really top tier North American teams? What has to be done to achieve that?
Well, first of all, this has always bothered me a little, comparing the North American scene to the Europe scene. Mm-hmm. Europe is quite a bit larger than the US and a couple cities in Canada. And so having Liquid and EG and whatever other teams at the top like we have has been a success in my mind. But I think that MLG is going to make some big changes here. Teams saw that they could attend an event like the Fall Invitational at Full Sail and be on center stage and win some money. They see Pretty Boy Swag come out of nowhere, do well at Full Sail, and then win the qualifier to get to Columbus anyways. And, those kind of opportunities get people excited. and those are opportunities that we haven't had in a long time. It's been a while since we've had a real LAN in the U.S. other than the international.
Yeah, I mean, I think you make a fair point that that area of Europe, the esports mecca of the world outside of Asia, is more densely populated. They have better infrastructure. It's sort of easier. You know, you have those big LAN events. It's very easy to travel around in the EU. And I don't mean necessarily how can we emulate that level of participation, but I guess to rephrase the question a little bit, what does North America need to continue growing, to get more top-tier teams like Liquid, like Dignitas and Pretty Boy Swag? Is it just a matter of getting more money, more lands? You know, is it a matter of, I don't know, do we need more tournaments? Or, I mean, $250,000 coming up for the 2014 circuit in MLG is a lot of money, but I don't know that that's really enough to bring more teams out of the woodwork, you know? I don't know. Or I guess maybe it's the question just biased from the get-go. Is North America fine? Do we not need to worry about growth? Are we growing already at an adequate speed?
No, of course we need to worry about growth. We always need to worry about it. And I think that money and bigger tournaments will definitely help. You can buy anything in life, including commitment and reliability from players. And professionalism has always been the buzzword around here. And you can buy professionalism. People, if they're not getting paid, they're going to be unreliable. They're not going to be dedicated to their practice time. If they have a better incentive, higher winnings potential, or a guaranteed salary, that'll make them more reliable, and hopefully they'll actually practice and have a better chance of achieving that top level.
Yeah, I think that's true. I don't think that's a question that has an easy answer. It's sort of everything needs to start stepping up. Professionalism, always a good word. Charlie or Chris, you got anything you want to chime in on in here?
I have a question from the chat. And I've been told to read this exactly as written. Is NA Dota gonna bust EE Samaz nads?
Maybe. I busted his nads at TI3. Bust Nads is our interview series, which we had at TI2 and TI3. We originally, on NA Dota, we did them in article form. NA Dota is actually not a forum for its first year in existence. That's your fun fact of the day. We wrote articles. We were pretty good at it until we just got lazy and just turned it into a forum. So yeah, Bustin' Ads is our interview series, and it might be back for MLG. We'll see.
Awesome. That's exciting. I know Hotbid's going to be there doing Team Liquid interviews. I saw TL making a post asking for questions and such. So
yeah, I can't compete with that guy.
Yeah, Hotbid's an animal, man. He's like one of the
hardcore.
At face value, he just seems like kind of a regular nerd, and then the more you listen to him talk, the more you realize he knows a lot about just a lot. He knows everything about everything. I don't know how one small man has so much knowledge.
He's super ripped too.
Is he? I've never seen him without a shirt on. I can't.
We went to the gym together. That guy is can do push-ups for days.
Yeah.
Make you feel bad about yourself?
Just a little.
Oh man. So I think that's pretty close to the end here. It's about on the hour mark. Scroll through my notes, see if I had any other questions or topics I wanted to ask you about. And I don't have too much. Anything you want to ask us about Spitwad? Anything on your mind you want to get off your chest here for our forum of discussion? You're talkative.
Will you host Mad?
It's a good question. That's a good question. Damn it! I really just set myself up for that.
You left yourself open for that one, man.
We'll see. Still contemplating. We'll see. We'll post MLG. There are some things in the works that need to be wrapped up that we should have definitives on following MLG. So we'll see. We'll see. Are you guys actually going to do an episode before MLG, or I guess that's not happening?
No. We tried.
We tried, and
we tried.
What happened? Everybody busy?
Schedules flaking, whatever.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll post MLG. We'll talk. Maybe we'll talk at MLG for sure. I had another thought and I just lost it. Oh, scheduling. That was one of the recent issues issues that we've talked about with teams being overscheduled right now. There are almost too many tournaments, not enough hours in the day. Any thoughts about that in general? Is this, as Cyborg Matt kind of pointed out, he said it's not really a cause for concern. That's just the natural part of growth, and it'll kind of just work itself out as bigger tournaments come in and smaller tournaments die off. Any thoughts about that in general right now? Is there a particular problem with scheduling, and any way that we can kind of in the short run fix said issues with teams having to, take walkovers and, drop out of tournaments and stuff because they can't find times to schedule?
Well, teams forfeiting, that's their fault for poor planning.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, yeah, people have full schedules. That's a good thing. It's going to mean bigger tournaments. The small tournaments are just going to die off. The players are going to start realizing that they have the power. These tournaments don't succeed unless they get the biggest names in them. And to do that, you need a lot of money now. I've tried starting up tournaments. I've tried helping other people start up tournaments. And ultimately, you realize that you need a ton of money to get the big names now.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing. That'll hopefully open up a little room so that those smaller tournaments don't die off. They just have kind of a second tier or semi-pro or amateur or whatever you want to call it,
Some
level of competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we need. That would be a good thing.
I agree with
Dota's
that,
always
for sure.
been very focused on the top of the top, and then after that, no one really cares about you.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue with up-and-coming teams. That's going to be one of our upcoming topics of discussion, that kind of lack of mobility right now. If you're one of those teams that's like not really pro, you haven't really won any money, but you want to take it seriously, there isn't a great mechanism to bridge that gap from amateur to a low-tier pro player, and that's definitely a problem we have right now. One of the last things I want to ask you about, talk to me about Grant. What's that guy's deal, man?
Your guess is as good as mine.
All right. I feel like when he talks, it's a joke that I don't get. Like, why is he the way
The
that
joke
he
is the joke is that you should not ever take him seriously.
You're not the first
He's-
person to tell me that, and I struggle with that. But, okay, so just...
I spent a long time being enemies with Grant, as I'm sure everyone has.
I've
And
never even talked to him.
eventually we got on the same page. But ultimately, you have to realize he is a troll, and he will always be a troll. And what that means is that everything he says is to elicit a response of some sort. And the best way to do that is by being an idiot.
Okay.
And I've called him that to his face, too.
Actually, I take that back. I spoke to Grant one time. Myself and Breaky CPK did a post-game interview when he was playing on the team Fun in the Sun Gaming. And he did the interview with a bag on his head. And...
Baghead Gaming.
Yeah, I forget what his name
I
was.
remember
Juan Pablo. It's the weirdest interview I've ever done. I didn't really understand that we were getting trolled until it was over. I thought he was just brain damaged, and then they told me that it was a joke, and I don't know. I felt out of the loop. Every time I see him post something, I feel like there's like an inside joke attached that I just don't get, and I go,
He is the king of inside jokes, and
Yeah.
he's an entertaining guy. And actually, I've tried to work with him and do shows with him or have him cast a lot in the past.
Yeah.
So you can work with him.
It's possible.
I'm not just here to flame Grant, but he will make you angry.
I will go ahead on and say this on record. Grant is my favorite caster to listen to.
I was just gonna bring that up. It's like, much
Nice,
to my
Charlie.
dismay, Charlie told me to my face, Grant's really one of my favorite casters. It's like, you know what, man? I thought we were
He
friends.
is my favorite caster. If I had to listen to anybody cast something, I would listen to Grant cast it.
All right. Fair enough. So, all right, awesome. Spitwad, thank you so much for being here, man. Do you have any shout-outs, anything you want to add here? Make sure you do follow him on Twitter. Your Twitter is on the overlay, at Spitwad. I have to admit, man, that is a pretty kitschy little Twitter handle you got there. You got just straight Spitwad. Congratulations on that. Don't ever change it. Somebody will jack it for sure. But any closing statements, any shout-outs, the floor is yours.
Well, thanks for having me on the show. So shout out to you. Shout out to Charlie, even though he's kind of soft. And shout out to NA Dota.
You're a disgusting person.
Soft and gooey center.
That's how I like him.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, again, that was this is our last episode until MLG Columbus. We will have a week off in terms of morning show production. The next episode, episode 15, will air a week from today, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. November 27th is when we'll be back. So keep an eye out for us at MLG Columbus. Myself, Spitwad, and Monolith will all be in attendance, walking around the floor. And, I'm sure I'll speak for all of us here, very eager to meet each and every one of you. Don't be afraid to come up to us, introduce yourself, shake your hands. We're not scary. We won't bite. Every single event, I come back and someone says, hey, man, I saw you there, and I was too afraid to come up and introduce myself. Don't be afraid. I suck at introducing myself to people as well, so we'll smile and nod. I'll probably give you a business card, and we'll go our separate ways. It'll be awesome. It'll be fun. If you're at home, make sure you tune in, MLG.tv. Support MLG, the company that's supporting Dota right now in North America, and pick up a bundle if you haven't yet. So until next time, though, guys, be kind to yourselves and be kind to each other. We'll see you next Wednesday for the next episode of the Dota Radio Morning Show.